Okay, let's unpack this.
Hmm.
There is like this constant stream running through all of our lives, right? This universal, often silent habit of talking to ourselves.
Hmm.
It's that voice in your head, the one that's always planning or critiquing or just narrating what's going on.
Yeah, we all definitely do it, whether we realize it or not. It's just
But
there.
we think or talk to ourselves constantly.
And that conversation, the silent one, I mean, it holds the key to so much. Our cognition, our emotions,
Hmm.
it's huge.
So what's our mission today?
Well, it's kind of twofold. First, we're going to do a deep dive, psychologically speaking, into how self-talk actually works. Not just that we do it, but why it's so critical for us.
Okay.
And second, we're going to jump headfirst into a source detailing this extremely nervous, really embarrassing real-world situation
Great.
and use that to unlock some, really useful conversational phrases and high-frequency informal language.
So we're basically eavesdropping on some poor guy having a massive anxiety attack on a first date.
Pretty much. It's going to be revealing, maybe a little awkward, like you said.
Okay, well, before we listen in on that internal meltdown, maybe we should lock in a couple of key words from the source, just to get us started.
Good idea. First up is famished.
Famished, right?
Yeah, it's an adjective.
Yeah.
And it's just a great kind of dramatic way to say you're very, very hungry.
More than just peckish, then.
Oh, yeah. Like, I skipped lunch. I'm absolutely famished.
Yeah.
It really emphasizes the hunger.
Got it. And the second word, it comes up when our guys start spiraling, I think. Sexist.
Right. Sexist, also an adjective. And it describes, well, prejudice or discrimination based on someone's sex.
Okay.
And it's important to remember, like, this isn't just one way.
Mm-hmm.
It could be judging women based on stereotypes or judging men based on stereotypes. It's any unfair generalization about a whole group based on sex.
Okay, that definitely sets the stage for the kind of anxiety that might pop up. But let's step back from the drama for a second. Because we need to kind of ground this whole thing psychologically, right? Talking to yourself isn't weird, it's normal. Necessary, even.
Totally necessary.
Mm.
It's a natural function.
Yeah.
And it's how we process the world around us. It's not just random thoughts floating around.
So it's more structured than that.
Yeah, often we're engaging what psychologists call the verbal working memory loop. It sounds fancy, but it's basically turning an abstract thought into a kind of internal instruction. Almost like talking to yourself out loud, but, silently.
Okay, so why do we actually do that? Why use that loop? What's the point of saying things to ourselves?
Well, our sources point to a few key reasons. One big one is just organizing the chaos in our heads.
Ah, like making sense of it all.
Exactly. Saying thoughts, even silently, helps structure them.
Mhm.
Turns that messy feeling into something clearer, maybe like a list you can follow.
Right.
And that's where it really helps you, the learner. It sharpens your focus. It actually reduces your cognitive load.
Cognitive load.
Yeah, like how much stuff your brain is trying to juggle at once. If you have a tricky task with multiple steps, saying those steps, like, okay, first I connect A to B, then I check the voltage.
Uh-huh.
That's way more effective than just trying to hold all that information abstractly in your mind. You've made it an action plan.
Huh. That's fascinating. So self-talk isn't just rambling, it's like self-instruction.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's also a fantastic tool for managing emotions, stress relief.
How does that work?
Well, the way you talk to yourself really shapes how you feel. Using positive self-talk, saying things like, I can handle this, or, okay, even if this doesn't work out, I'll learn something.
Right.
That's a really powerful way to regulate anxiety. It's like coaching yourself through a tough moment. Calms you down, builds confidence.
And what about making decisions? Does it have it there?
Absolutely. Huge for problem solving. When you've got a tough choice, saying the options out loud, or even just mapping them out in that inner dialogue,
Yeah.
it helps your brain process everything more clearly.
Yeah.
It literally creates a bit of space between the choices so you can see them better.
That makes sense. And I can see how that applies directly to language learning, too.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like repeating new words or phrases out loud to yourself, or even trying to build full sentences in your head like, okay, today I will go to the store and I will try to ask.
Right. Practicing the structure.
Exactly. It improves your memory, your retention, and you're building fluency and confidence because you're practicing constructing sentences without that pressure of
Right.
phone listening,
Hey, okay. So that really lays the groundwork for why self-talk is generally a good, useful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's get back to our case study. The poor guy on the date. Because he's experiencing the dark side of this cognitive tool, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Big time. He starts off feeling amazing, right?
Yeah.
So happy to be there. He actually wants to scream at the top of his lungs because his date looks so great.
That initial euphoria.
Exactly. But then that excitement just flips, turns into dread. And that's the moment his internal dialogue just kind of breaks down. It becomes negative self-talk.
Okay.
That's the shift. He stops observing reality and starts judging himself really harshly with, negative, almost abusive language towards himself.
And the trigger is so mundane, which makes it super relatable, I think. They're at dinner, she's having a salad, he looks down.
And sees the forks.
Yeah.
Multiple forks.
Yeah. And that simple thing, that social cue, just sends him into a complete panic spiral.
The dialogue snippet we have really shows how bad it gets fast. He starts the internal abuse almost immediately. Oh, shut up. Don't be such a dumbass.
Wow.
Then I'm such a tool. And worrying, she's got to think I'm a moron.
Ooh.
You see, the anxiety isn't really about the forks themselves. It's about the feeling of incompetence, of being inadequate,
Yeah.
that the forks suddenly represent for him.
It's that weird paradox, isn't it? We can handle complex jobs, navigate all sorts of adult stuff, but a bunch of forks can make us feel like we're 5 years old again. So let's unpack the specific language he used there. Those insults. Starting with dumbass. That's everywhere in informal talk, movies, TV.
It is super common, yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely impolite, obviously. A dumbass, in slang terms, is someone who does stupid things. But there's a bit of nuance.
Okay.
It's not necessarily about someone being inherently unintelligent. It's more about someone messing something up because of, like, carelessness or panic. Situational stupidity.
Right. Like locking your keys in the car. That's a dumbass move.
Exactly. It's about the action, usually.
Yeah.
So how does that compare to moron? You use that one too.
Yeah. Moron. How's that different?
Well, it's similar. Obviously means someone is unintelligent or stupid, but it feels a bit different. Moron is a word you're more likely to see, like formally defined somewhere. And while it's still offensive, it often points more towards a general lack of intelligence. Whereas dumbass often implies more a lack of common sense or awareness in that specific moment.
Okay, I think I get the distinction. One's maybe more fundamental, the other more situational.
Sort of, yeah. And then there's the weirdest one he uses. Tool.
Right. Why is being called a tool an insult? Tools are useful.
Huh. Yeah, it's deeply ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you call a person a tool, it means the opposite. It means they're useless, good for nothing, or just completely inept in that situation.
Ah.
The implication is they lack any real purpose or personal drive. They're just there and not helpful.
Okay, so let's try an example. If I accidentally deleted a super important file right before a deadline, I might internally call myself a dumbass.
Yep, sounds about right. Poor execution under pressure.
But if my colleague showed up to a major client meeting an hour late, totally unprepared, didn't even bring a pen, someone might later say, wow, he's such a tool.
Exactly. That's a perfect distinction. One is messing up a task. The other is just general inadequacy for the situation.
Got it. Okay, now let's look at the phrases he uses or wants to use to try and pull himself out of this nosedive.
Right, the self-regulation attempts.
He tells himself he needs to chill and be cool.
Yeah, essential conversational phrases, those two.
Yeah.
They both connect back to the idea of temperature being cold.
Right.
And they mean relax, calm down.
Yeah.
Usually used as a command, like telling someone else or yourself to kind of lower the emotional intensity. Stress, anger, panic.
And we hear chilling a lot too, right? Just casually.
Oh, yeah. Often dropping the G at the end. Friends are just chilling. Means they're relaxing, hanging out, having fun together. Much more relaxed vibe.
Then there's the phrase he desperately needs in that moment. Get it together.
Oh, this one's so important for fluency. It's really powerful. To get it together means, well, pull your emotions under control, regain composure, get your thoughts straight, become rational again.
When would you use that?
You tell someone to get it together if they're hysterically crying or super nervous like our guy, or even if someone's just making consistently bad life choices and needs to smarten up and be more responsible.
Get organized, emotional or mentally.
Exactly. He also had that earlier thought, wanting to scream at the top of his lungs. We know that means shouting really loudly.
Yeah, like at a concert or something.
Right, out of excitement. But you also hear it used in situations of extreme stress or frustration.
Oh.
Like if you're just completely overwhelmed with work, you might feel like you just need to let off steam, feel like screaming at the top of your lungs.
Right. Makes sense. And finally, there were two really common informal phrases right when the fork panic hit. First, what the hell?
Yes. That's used when you're asking a question, but with real emphasis, strong emphasis. It shows surprise or anger or confusion.
Definitely not polite.
No, certainly not polite. But it's incredibly versatile, which is why you hear it constantly. You can swap out the what for other question words,
Like,
like why the hell, how the hell, where, well, hell, where the hell are you? Immediately tells you the person is impatient, probably angry.
loads more emotion than just, where are you?
Exactly. And the last little interjection, right, when he realizes his mistake or feels the panic, oh, crap.
Oh, crap.
That's your classic strong, oh, no. You use it when you realize you've messed up or when something bad happens, so usually something kind of minor.
It's like a step down from stronger swear words.
Precisely. It's very high frequency, super common, and acts as a sort of acceptable, milder placeholder for actual profanity.
Okay, so we've pulled out all that vocabulary, the slang, the phrases from his complete fork-related breakdown.
Yeah.
But let's bring it back to the main idea here. That date really highlights how not all self-talk is good for us, that inner critic can be seriously damaging.
Absolutely. That scenario showed classic cognitive distortion. The negative self-talk, that constant stream of I'm such a tool or I always mess up or I'm going to fail,
Yeah.
it just crushes your confidence. It ramps up stress. And crucially, it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain starts to believe those instructions.
So it's the exact opposite of that helpful verbal working memory loop we talked about earlier.
Totally. The loop is supposed to organize your thoughts for action. The inner critic, though, is organizing you for failure.
So what's the fix? How do you deal with that?
The key is intervention. Psychologists call it cognitive restructuring. You have to consciously change the language you're using inside your head.
So catch yourself doing it.
Yeah, where that negative voice pops up and says, I'm not good enough for this. The positive voice needs to step in and actively counter it. Override it with something like, okay, this is tough, but I have the ability to learn and improve this skill.
So for you listening, the practical takeaway here is really focusing on being encouraging, positive. Like instead of thinking, I'm definitely going to fail this presentation, actively change that thought to something like, okay, I've prepared for this, and I'm going to do my best to deliver it clearly.
And that is the real power of managing your self-talk.
Yeah.
It's not just about, feeling a bit better. It actually improves your performance, your focus, your fluency in whatever you're trying to do.
By using that internal voice constructively.
Right. Use it to ask calm, clear questions. What's the best way to approach this problem?
Yeah.
What are the steps I need to take? You're actively engaging the helpful parts of your brain, not letting the critic run the show.
So we took a pretty deep dive today. We looked at the psychology behind that voice in our heads, our internal dialogue.
Yeah. And we pulled out some really crucial slang and common conversational phrases from that high-stress meltdown scenario with the forks.
Quite the scenario.
Okay, remember, the quality of your thinking, how well you perform, your overall well-being, it really hinges on how you manage that inner conversation.
So shift the focus.
Yeah. Shift from that internal critic to being more of an internal coach. Use language that's encouraging, that's focused on goals and learning.
Okay, so final thought then. We've seen how negative self-talk, feeling like a tool or moron over something as simple as forks, can just completely derail you. So think about a challenge you've got coming up this week. Maybe it's a big meeting, maybe it's studying for a test, maybe it's a difficult conversation. How could shifting just one of those negative thoughts that I can't do this, or I'm going to screw this up and do a simple, okay, get it together, or I can do this. How could that one small shift change how you focus and maybe even change the outcome?
That inner conversation is the first and maybe the most important communication you have every single day.
Don't waste it being a dumbass to yourself.